Douglas Bickford. It's the 21st of July 2021. And I'm in Klamath Falls, Oregon. This is my hometown. I'm a teacher of self-esteem, okay? And the reason I'm teaching self-esteem on YouTube is because nobody's doing it. Absolutely nobody is teaching self-esteem, not on any of the social media. So that's why I'm here, is to teach you self-esteem, okay? Because, and the reason I'm doing it is because over 8 months ago, I got out of a toxic marriage, my fourth one, because I got into it and married a woman after 3 weeks because of no self-esteem, okay? And the reason I didn't have self-esteem is because I was molested as a child, along with 4 sisters and 1 brother, okay, by our father, all right? So, you can't love or receive love if you don't have self-esteem, okay? And we're being trained that you have to love somebody before you love yourself, via television, all the social media, radios, newspapers, you name it, our teachers. We have been taught, the love story on TV about, somebody's going to just magically appear and then you're going to fall happily ever live happily ever after in love, and nothing else will matter. No, that's not the way it works, folks. You have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. And you can't love or be loved unless you have self-esteem. And like I said, all the media, including all the social media, Facebook, YouTube, etc., is teaching us just the opposite. In fact, nobody is teaching us self-esteem, and that's why I'm here, okay, to tell you how to do it, because I learned in the last 8 months, I learned how to attain self-esteem. It's a very simple process, but absolutely nobody is teaching this simple concept called mirror therapy. Came out of the book, The Portable Therapist, by a doctor of psychology. Her name's Susanna McMahon, okay? Look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. And also say in the mirror, I love my inner child. I'm going to nurture and take care of my inner child. We all have an inner child, whether you're a man or woman. Everybody, if you're human, you have it, an inner child. And the inner child does not grow up with you as an adult. Your emotions do never, ever, because basically the inner child is your emotions. It's the guardian of your emotional warehouse. All the bad that's done to you, it is stored in this warehouse inside you, and the inner child is the guardian of that, unless you nurture the inner child, and the inner child never goes past the emotional 2-year-old level. So basically you have a 2-year-old living inside you. And if you don't nurture your inner child, you'll be at war with yourself, with the inner child. It's like having a screaming 2-year-old living inside you. You know the whole thing I'm talking about, when the little kid is throwing the temper tantrum in the store and the parents rushing out the door with them. Or, it's like, it's a terrible thing. They're on the floor. They're having a temper tantrum. Excuse me. That's what you got living inside you, okay? Unless you nurture it, unless you tell your inner child you love your inner child, you're going to take care of it, it will never let you at your emotions. That's why the divorce rate is 75% in this country. And that's why People have been through hundreds of relationships, and the ones that do stay together um, in an unhealthy relationship for years. You know what I'm talking about. Your parents, your grandparents, they've been together 50 years. Neither one of them had self-esteem. They just made it work in an unhealthy relationship because they're afraid to leave each other. And there's a lot of that happening too. And that's when all the stuff that those parents do to the children and the grandchildren and everything else gets all swept under the rug. It never gets talked about because we have to acknowledge that the world is full of pain and the world is full of fear. Without pain in the world, there is no life, okay? Because life is full of pain. We live in pain, we die in pain, okay? You have to accept that fact. In life is unfair, totally. But you have to accept that it's unfair, that we live in a world full of pain. You have to accept and acknowledge it, okay? But you can do all that if you do the two simple concepts I told you. And it will give you self-esteem on steroids. I have it now. I didn't used to have it. I went my whole life, 64 years, without self-esteem. And about 7 months ago, I actually learned how to have self-esteem, self-love by the two simple concepts I told you that you say to yourself in the mirror. Say it every day to yourself, folks, because it never if you tell somebody you're doing it, don't tell anybody you're doing it. You tell somebody you're doing it, they're going to criticize you and you won't do it. And without nurturing your inner child and saying I love you to your inner child, you can never attain self-esteem. Self-esteem is self-love. Self-esteem it's also self-confidence, self-worth. It's how you feel about yourself. Most people don't even know we have an inner child. In fact, when you see me say that, what's that? I had no idea. But it came out of the book, The Portable Therapist. This isn't coming from Douglas Bickford. Everything I get is coming from this book. Okay. So, and she's a doctor of psychology, folks. So she's a psychiatrist. I wish I would have had her as my therapist. I wouldn't be in this. I would have not went my whole life without self-esteem if I would have, because she wrote this book in the 80s, and she's nowhere to be found. I don't even know if she's still alive anymore. Anyway, I'm going through the book chapter by chapter. Like, sub, and share these videos, and I'm on chapter 17 now. You can get a hold of Douglas Bickford. You need somebody, if you start to attain self-esteem, you need somebody that's on your side that can support you and help you through this process of change. Because it will change you if you start doing those two simple things. And you have to keep at it. It's like lifting weights, okay? But you need somebody to help you through it, okay? And I am a teacher of it. I can help you. My phone number is 458-232-5238 for anybody that wants to get a hold of me. And I can help you because people don't know the secret of attaining self-esteem and what it'll do for you. I do. I've been through it. It's a very painful process, but the rewards of it, you will get that inner void you feel that we all feel. Okay. There's all kinds of different stuff in this book that will teach you how to get healthy minded. Okay. Now, chapter 17. What does God have to do with it? Everything if you believe, nothing if you do not. For the process of learning self-esteem, either belief is acceptable. Remember, the circular model is a model of acceptance. We are what we are. We believe what we believe. It is not up to us to believe for others or to convert them to our beliefs. This theory and my style of therapy began when I doubted the existence of God. I now very strongly believe. For me, God and good are part of the same continuum. Our goodness comes from the God within. This is very important stuff, folks. And our goodness comes from the God within. And the God within, and we are trying to find the relationship with the God outside of ourselves. And that's what church is. Okay. For those who do not believe, please substitute the concept of goodness for God. For those who do not believe in goodness, neither this book nor the concept of self esteem will be meaningful. Translation: if you don't believe in goodness, you'll never attain self esteem. Okay? Never. So you just keep on in your la la land for the rest of your life in a fog, trying to get your happiness through television, sex, religion, material possessions, and you'll be lost, okay? And you are lost. You are lost without self esteem. And there's a lot of people that don't have self esteem, okay? But it's very simple to get it. Continue on here. That's it. That's it for that chapter. For those who do not believe, I will read that one again. Please substitute the concept of goodness for God, because we all have goodness living inside of us. For those who do not believe in goodness, neither this book nor the concept of self-esteem will be meaningful. You do not have to believe in God to get self-esteem, folks. Self-esteem is learning, loving yourself. It's how you feel about yourself. It's also self-confidence, self-worth. And I'm telling you, without self-esteem, you cannot love or be loved. Okay? And I am the example of how it has changed me from the inside out. I used to fear death before I had self-esteem. I don't fear death now because death is a natural process. We have to. The world is unfair, folks. We're living something that we don't even know what it even is about. Okay. But once you attain self-esteem, there will be something inside you that's different about you. I started saying I love you in the mirror, and I love my inner child. And the thing is, I had to force myself the first time I did it because I didn't believe it for one iota. Because of my past sex abuse as a child. Okay, so I lived my whole life. And then I first noticed the difference when I started getting around people. It was in a grocery store. It was a grocery outlet in Lapine, Oregon. I'll never forget it. I started saying that to myself in the mirror, and I love my inner child. And I walked in the grocery store in Lapine, Oregon, and I felt something different about me. I started striking up conversations with people. Didn't matter who it was. Didn't matter what they looked like. Didn't matter if they're overweight. Didn't matter if they're underweight. Didn't matter what they looked like. I would strike up conversations with people. And I just had this inner, it's almost like I was on drugs or something. You know, you get that buzz when you drink a little bit of alcohol on an empty stomach. You get that like warm, fuzzy feeling, you know, and you just like you're more sociable and stuff. It's when you drink a little bit of alcohol, right? You get that feeling. That's the feeling you get when you attain self-esteem, self-love, and you notice it when you start getting around people. And it's like the best high you can ever get. Okay, it's called a natural high, and that's where you get it. All right? And it'll happen to you, I guarantee you. Anyway, here's my number again. Douglas Bickford, 458-232-5238. Very important to do those two simple concepts. Get the book, Portable Therapist. It's in a link in the description of this video. The book will change your life, folks. I'll have more later for you. I'll have a great day out there.